Imagine this, guys. An employee racing against a deadline pastes a snippet of confidential code into ChatGPT for just a quick fix. In seconds, that code, your company's secret source, is now on AI server outside your control. Does that sound a bit far-fetched? No, because it's already happening in workplaces around the world. In one case, engineers at a global electronics firm fed proprietary data into AI chatbot, only to discover their secrets reappeared in other users' results. This isn't a scene from a thriller, it's a new reality of shadow AI, and it's likely lurking in your organization right now. So let's explore a bit, guys. What is shadow AI? Well, simply put, it's when employees use AI tools, things like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Google Bard, or similar generative AI platforms without IT or security approval. It's been dubbed the rebellious cousin of shadow IT, and for good reason. Just like shadow IT arose from staff installing unsanctioned apps to get their jobs done, shadow AI is the next wave. People tapping into powerful AI services under the radar. The World Economic Forum defines shadow AI as AI tools introduced into the workflows without proper oversight, creating significant risks like unauthorized data exposure and compliance failures. In other words, whenever somebody in your company signs up to the latest AI tool or uses personal AI account for work tasks without your IT knowing, you got shadow AI in action. Now, you might be thinking, if these tools are helping employees work smarter, where's the harm? Well, the harm is very real. Shadow AI exposes in popularity precisely because it provides value. It can automate tedious tasks, generate code, or documents instantly and act as a 24/7 research assistant. In fact, surveys show that 60% of workers say AI tools help them work faster and more efficiently, and a whopping 84% want to keep using AI at work. But this productivity boost comes at a cost. When AI is used in the shadows, outside of any governance, it creates a serious blind spot. Company data can slip into the wild. Regulations can be unknowingly violated, and security teams are left in the dark. Shadow AI is a classic good tool used badly scenario, and is fast becoming one of the biggest insider risks you ever heard about. Now, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll unpack why shadow AI is such a ticking time bomb and how you can diffuse it. We'll look at real examples. One might make you cringe if you ever copy data into a chatbot. Break down the risks from data leaks to compliance nightmares. And most importantly, lay out the practical steps to regain the control. And don't worry, we're not going to tell you to ban all AI or buy some expensive new shiny tool. The goal is to keep the benefits of AI while avoiding the dangers, using common sense measures that any organization can start applying today. So let's shed some light on shadow AI and see what we're dealing with right here. So, what is shadow AI and why everyone is talking about it? Well, first of all, shadow AI refers to the AI powered tools, platforms, or services without formal approval or visibility from an organization's IT and security teams. It's essentially the AI era extension of shadow IT. So instead of unauthorized cloud storage or unapproved apps, it's employees secretly harnessing tools like ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, Google's Gemini, IBM Watson, or you name it AI service to get their work done faster. The intent usually isn't malicious. People just want to be more productive, but the impact can be serious. So, why is shadow AI exploding right now? Well, the simple answer is is accessibility. Modern generative AI tools are incredibly easy to access. Many are one quick sign up away on the web, often with free tiers. Got a problem? There's likely an AI for that. And your employees, they know this. Whether it's marketer using AI image generator for presentation, an HR rep using ChatGPT to draft a policy, or a salesperson feeding client info into an AI assistant to write a proposal. AI is seeping into daily workflows, and it's happening faster than your organization can keep up. According to the late 2024 study, 38% of employees in global survey admitting to using confidential data with AI tools without approval. Another 2025 survey found that 68% of employees use powerful AI accounts for work tasks instead of company sanctioned platforms. That is the shadow AI, widespread, unsanctioned, and largely invisible to the organization. It's no surprise then that security leaders are sounding the alarm. Shadow AI is quickly becoming a top concern in cybersecurity circles. Industry forums, from RSA conferences to Davos 2025, have flagged it as an emergency threat that can't be ignored. Yet many organizations are still playing catch up in understanding and managing it. Unlike traditional shadow IT, say someone using an authorized Dropbox, shadow AI is much trickier because AI tools don't just store data, they learn from it. When an employee pastes data into an AI service, that information might be used to improve AI's model or could surface in outputs to other users. It's not just leaving your network, it could resurface in an unpredictable ways. To put it bluntly, shadow AI is a double-edged sword. On one side, you have amazing efficiency and creativity gains, employees solving problems in minutes with AI assistants. On other though, you have a wild west of unvetted tools where company data and decisions are roaming free. Now, before we even dive into the risks, consider this anecdote as a reality check. In early 2023, just weeks after ChatGPT went viral, engineers at a well-known tech company, yes, the global electronics company, you might be guessing, unwittingly leaked sensitive data via AI chatbot. They had entered confidential semiconductor code into ChatGPT to debug an issue. Now, what happened next? That code later appeared in responses given to other ChatGPT users. It was as if their trade secrets walked out of the front door. The company was horrified. It potentially lost millions worth of intellectual property and had to scramble to contain the damage. This was one of the first big wake-up calls about shadow AI, and it set the tone for what we're discussing today. In summary, shadow AI is real, and it's already in your workplace. It lives in those seemingly harmless queries about your staff types, into AI chatbots, or the unofficial AI plugins someone installed to supercharge their spreadsheet. It's growing rapidly because it fills a need. Employees want help from AI and aren't waiting for permissions. But with great power comes great responsibility and risk. Let's break down exactly why shadow AI has security teams worried and why you should be concerned too. So let's talk why shadow AI is a huge risk, the dark side of unapproved AI. Using AI without oversight might seem innocent until you consider what's actually at stake. Shadow AI can punch gaping holes in your organization's security and compliance defenses. So let's explore the key risks lurking when employees adopt AI in the shadows. Data leaks on steroids. Every time someone inputs data or company data into generative AI tool, there's a chance that that data is no longer private. Many AI services, especially free and public versions, store user inputs to improve their models. That means the confidential report or source code an employee pasted into AI could be saved on external servers outside your control. Worse, it might even later be used to train the model or appear in another user's output. As we saw in the early example, proprietary code ended up being regurgitated to strangers, which is a nightmare scenario. And it's not just code. Employees might share customer lists, financial projections, product roadmaps, personal information, you name it. By March 2024, roughly 27.4% of data employees were feeding into AI tools was considered sensitive, up from 10.7% a year prior. That's nearly a threefold jump in sensitive data exposure via AI. Think about that. Over a quarter of what people type into these AI is stuff you wouldn't want outside your company walls. Now, one marketing intern copying a client contract list into ChatGPT for a mailer could leak a trove of PII, personally identified information, in an instant. If that data then trains the model, it could resurface in unexpected places, potentially even a tool used by a competitor. Now, it's a data leak on steroids, high volume and high velocity. Unlike a stolen USB drive or a hacked database, which can contain data leaked into AI model, is effectively irretrievable. Protecting information after it's given to an external AI is virtually impossible. The risk is front and center for most organizations. Lose control of your data and you lose the trust of customers, partners, and employees. Regulatory and compliance nightmares. Now, if the data exposure risk wasn't scary enough, consider the compliance angle. Privacy laws and industry regulations. GDPR in Europe, HIPAA for healthcare, PCI DSS for payment info, and many others place strict rules on how sensitive data is handled. Now, Shadow AI sidesteps all of those carefully crafted compliance controls. Your company might have well-defined policies for data encryption, storage, sharing, but when an employee pays data into unimproved AI, all better off. Is that AI service compliant with GDPR? Almost certainly not. If it's a public tool, not under the proper data processing agreement, in fact, using ChatGPT or similar tools to process personal data could itself violate GDPR and other privacy laws. The penalties? They are severe. For GDPR breach involving unauthorized data processing, fines can be up to 4% of the global revenue. Regulatory bodies have made it clear that I didn't know my employees were using that or doing that is not a valid defense. We already saw regulators react strongly in early cases. For instance, Italy temporarily banned ChatGPT in 2023 due to privacy concerns, sending a signal to companies everywhere. Beyond privacy, think about other compliance areas. Financial institutions have strict data handling rules. Imagine an investment analyst putting not public in financial information into AI. That could be a compliance breach. Healthcare providers risk violating HIPAA if patient data winds up in a chatbot. And if proprietary code or insider info leaks, there could be an intellectual property or contractual violations too. Simply put, Shadow AI can drag you into legal quagmires, audits, fines, lawsuits, before you even realize what's happened. Now, next one is lack of visibility and control, which is essentially the security blind spot. One of the scariest aspects of Shadow AI is that security teams have zero visibility it's happening because these tools aren't officially sanctioned. They typically aren't monitored or logged by corporate IT. It's a bit like people going in and out of your office through a hidden side door. You can't secure that if you can't see it. Traditional security measures, firewalls, DLP systems, access logs, might not catch an employee using web-based AI service, especially if it's over HTTPS and not blocked. That creates a huge blind spot in your risk landscape. Attackers could even exploit this. For example, if an employee uses a third-party AI plugin that hasn't been vetted, it might have malware or be siphoning data, and no one in IT would know to look for it. And managed connections to external AI platforms are potential backdoors for cyber attacks. We're also seeing AI being integrated into workflows in sneaky ways. Maybe someone hooked up a free AI translation service to the corporate messaging app via an API key. If IT didn't approve it, they might not even know that it exists. This lack of oversight means something goes wrong, say a data leak or a suspicious query. The security teams finds out late or even never. It's equivalent of flying blind. No logs, no alerts, no incident response plan. For organizations in regulated sectors like finance, healthcare, or government, this is particularly dangerous because undocumented systems can lead to serious governance and oversight failures. Shadow AI essentially creates a parallel IT universe that operates out of reach of your normal controls, and that should keep any CISO up at night. Now, unauthorized decisions and bad outcomes. There's another side to shadow AI, risk, that not just about leaking data, it's about making bad or biased decisions. When employees use AI tools to aid decision making without oversight, the business could be acting on recommendations or content that haven't been vetted for accuracy, fairness, or security. For instance, imagine a manager secretly using an AI tool to screen resumes or rank job candidates. If that AI wasn't approved, it may be using a biased model. The result? You could be unknowingly end up discriminating against certain candidates, opening the door to lawsuits or ethical breaches. Or consider a financial analyst relying on an unsanctioned AI to predict market moves. If the model is flawed or trained on the wrong data, it might lead to a costly error in strategy. Because it's shadow use, these AI-driven decisions happen without any normal checks and balances. There's no accountability or traceability. If something goes wrong, it's nearly impossible to explain or justify how the AI reached that outcome. The AI Wild Wild West can directly impact business operations and strategy. Companies risk outcomes they can neither predict nor defend because of unapproved AI tool quietly influenced a process. Furthermore, some employees might inadvertently trust AI outputs too much. A chatbot might confidently spew false information and then makes it into a client presentation or a policy document simply because it wasn't reviewed. In short, unauthorized AI can inject errors, bias, and inconsistencies in your business decisions, sometimes in ways that aren't immediately obvious. Security vulnerabilities via shadow AI. Now, finally, consider the technical security risks. Not all AI tools are enterprise grade in terms of security. Using a third-party AI service could mean uploading data to a platform with unknown security practices. If that AI provider gets breached, your data could be part of the loot. There's also the risk of malicious AI tools. Imagine an employee downloads a free AI assistant that is actually malware in disguise. It's not far-fetched. Threat actors are already abusing the hype around AI. In 2024, we saw phishing emails and malware delivery camouflaged as AI tools and browser extensions. Now, if an employee falls for that in pursuit of new AI helper, your network could be compromised. Shadow AI could also mean employees connecting AI scripts or bots to your systems in unsupervised ways. A well-meaning staffer might write a script to feed a database info into an AI API to get insights, accidentally creating a new attack surface. Poorly secured AI integrations can become open doors for attackers if not properly vetted. The bottom line is, shadow AI can bypass your security perimeter. It's as if someone stood up on an unknown server, an application within your environment without hardening. It's a big no-no in security. Yet, it's happening virtually with these AI services. Now, that we painted a risk landscape, you might be feeling a bit uneasy. And that's a good thing. Awareness is the first step. The risks related to shadow AI are very real. Data leaks, compliance violations, lost visibility, and poor decisions, and new vulnerabilities. And these aren't theoretical scare stories. They're drawn from real incidents and studies. We already talked about the Samsung incident where sensitive code leaked. In another real-world case, a junior developer at a fintech company used AI coding assistant to debug software. The result? Well, fragments of the company's proprietary code were later found in public code snippets suggested to other users. Imagine discovering bits of your code base floating around on the internet because an AI tool spit them out to someone else. That could be devastating breach of trust and security. And consider this statistic. 57% of enterprise employees who use generative AI at work have admitted inputting confidential data into these tools. Yes, more than half. This includes things like internal strategy documents, customer data, and source code being fed into ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, you name it, guys. If over half of your workforce is potentially doing that, the exposure risk is off the charts. Meanwhile, only 29% of companies have a clear AI usage policies, and even fewer train their staff on safe AI practices. That means in most organizations, people are just winging it, figuring it out on their own what's okay to do with AI and what isn't. The result? A lot of well-intentioned but risky behavior flying under the radar. Faced with this, some organizations have tried to knee-jerk approach, ban all AI tools. Big names like Apple, Amazon, Verizon, and banks like JP Morgan have, at various points, forbidden employees from using public generative AI at work. The idea is to stop the bleeding by cutting off access. But let's be honest, that's a tough policy to enforce. People find workarounds. In reality, studies show employees continue using AI on personal devices or accounts even with bans in place. For example, one report found that 74% of ChatGPT's use in workplaces was through personal, non-corporate accounts. Banning AI outright can also backfire by driving it further underground and depriving your business of potential benefits. As one cybersecurity expert put it, the solution isn't elimination, it's culture and governance. In other words, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. The better strategy is to embed AI usage within a safe, managed framework. So shadow AI is here to stay. It's growing, largely unchecked, and carries significant risks. But before you resign yourself to chaos or clamp down with draconian rules, there's good news. You can tackle this. Just as shadow AI was managed over time with sensible policies and tools, shadow AI can be reined in. In the next section, we'll shift from the problem to solution. How do we shine a light on shadow AI and manage it without crushing the innovation? What steps can you take today to reduce these risks, even if you don't have a big budget for fancy AI governance software? Let's dive into practical game plan. Okay, let's dive in ways how we can reduce shadow AI risk, taking practical steps without breaking the bank. It's clear that shadow AI is a challenge, but it's one you can address with a combination of smart policies, awareness, and a bit of tech savvy. You don't necessarily need to buy expensive new tools or build a huge team to get started. Many effective mitigations are about strategy and process, not high priced software. So let's guys walk through practical steps and accessible steps that your organization can take to get a shadow AI under control. Now, number one, establish clear AI usage policies and governance. So start with setting the ground rules, guys. If your company doesn't have an AI acceptable use policy yet, this is a priority number one. The policy should spell out which AI tools are approved for use, if any, which are prohibitive, what kind of data is never allowed to be input into AI. Be explicit. For example, no customer personal data or confidential source code should be entered into any external AI service without approval. Define acceptable AI use in plain terms. Importantly, involve a cross-functional team in creating these guidelines. This isn't just an IT document. Get input from legal, compliance, HR, and key business units. That cross-functional AI governance committee can help review new AI tools quickly and pragmatically, so you can approve useful ones and reject risky ones in a timely manner. You want a process where if an employee finds a cool new AI tool that could benefit work, there's a clear path to getting it vetted rather than using it on a sly. Keep the policy practical, guys. It shouldn't be vague. Don't do bad things statement. It should give concrete do's and don'ts. And crucially, communicate it widely. As we saw, only 29% of employees say their org even has an AI guidelines. So if you publish one, make sure everyone actually knows about it. Include examples in the policy, like scenarios we've discussed, to illustrate what's okay and what's not. This will remove ambiguity and give employees a reference point. Remember, the goal is guidance, not hindrance. If people know the rules and the reasons behind them, they're more likely to follow them. Now, number two, educate and train your workforce. A policy on paper means little if employees aren't trained on it. Education is your best ally to stop shadow AI from flourishing. Start by explaining why certain AI uses are dangerous. Many employees simply don't realize the implications. For instance, teach them that AI tools may retain and learn from data you input. Non-technical staff might assume these tools are like secure software, not understanding the data training aspect. Run regular training sessions or include an AI hygiene module in your security awareness program. Cover the basics. Which types of data are sensitive and should never be shared with external AI. How to recognize an approved tool versus a random app, and what is the process for getting the new AI tool approved. Also, highlight the productivity benefits of using AI responsibly. Frame it as enabling safe use rather than just a list of thou shall nots. The 2025 Teller survey revealed that only 24% of employees have received any AI related training, meaning there's a huge knowledge gap. Fill the gap with engaging content, lunch and learns, internal blog posts, maybe even a fun quiz. Make it relatable. For example, show a sanitized example of an employee query to ChatGPT and discuss what could go wrong. Then show the right way to accomplish the same task within the policy. Encourage questions and even anonymous confessions of AI use so you can learn what's happening on the ground. One clever idea from experts is to set up internal AI sandboxes or labs, essentially a safe environment where employees can experiment with AI on dummy data. This satisfies curiosity and training needs without risking real assets. And finally, create a culture where reporting shadow AI is encouraged, but not punished. If someone realizes, hey, our team started using this AI tool without asking IT, they should feel comfortable bringing that forward so it can be addressed. The message should be, we're not here to ban your favorite tools, we're here to help you use them safely. By demystifying AI and giving employees the knowledge to make good choices, you transform them from being part of the risk into being part of the solution. Number 3, take inventory. You can't secure what you don't see. It's time to shine a light on the shadow. Discover what AI tools are already in use in your organization. This can be done in a number of low-cost ways. Start by simply asking teams and managers a quick survey or informal check-in. Are you and your team using any AI or automation tools that IT might not know about? We're not here to ban them. We want to understand and help you manage them. You might be surprised by candid answers if you frame it as a collaborative effort. On the technical side, though, leverage any existing monitoring tools you have. Many companies have a firewall or secure web gateway that logs outgoing web traffic. Have a look at those logs for calls to known AI services like OpenAI, Google Bard, and etc. If you have Cloud Access Security Broker or similar security software in place, configure it to flag AI web services. Some CASB tools now actually recognize and report on AI tool usage as part of Shadow IT reports. Even without CASB, your web proxy or DNS logs can be your friend. For instance, identify if employees are frequently hitting domains like api.openai.com or bard.google.com. This gives you a rough map of where shadow AI is happening. Also, check for any installed browser extensions or desktop apps related to AI. An endpoint management tool might reveal if, say, a user installed an AI writing assistant app. Once you gather this data, create an inventory list of AI tools in use, both approved and unapproved. This inventory is gold. It tells you where to focus. You might find that 80% of shadow AI activity is just a few tools, say ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot, being common culprits. That insight can guide your next steps. Maybe those high-use tools should be formally evaluated for approval or need stricter blocking. And don't treat the inventory as one-time audit. Make it a continuous process. Shadow AI tools will evolve. New ones will appear. Have a mechanism, say quarterly reviews, to update what's out there. Remember, the WEF recommendation, maintain an inventory of all AI systems in your enterprise to prevent unmonitored stragglers. Visibility is the foundation of control. Now, number four, implement controls to prevent data mishaps. So once you know what and where AI is being used, put some guardrails in place. You want to prevent the worst case scenarios like sensitive data leaking without needing to ban everything. One approach is to use technical controls you might already have. So, for example, data loss prevention systems. Many organizations have DLP for email or file sharing. So, extend that to detect what users might be sending certain data to web services. Some modern DLP solutions or cloud security tools can scan text being put into web forms, configure them with triggers for things like large paste actions to external sites or specific patterns. For example, if you see 16-digit numbers or code patterns to an AI site, maybe flag it. Admittedly, DLP for AI usage is a newer field, but even the basic rules can catch the low-hanging fruit, like someone trying to paste a customer database. The Cloud Security Alliance suggests that using AI-specific DLP tools or filters that act as gatekeepers for sensitive info. If dedicated tools aren't an option, think about network segmentation or access controls. Maybe only allow certain vetted AI services through company network and block others. For example, you might allow access to ChatGPT Enterprise, which has stronger data protection, but block access to random new AI sites. Or you could require a corporate proxy or a VPN for internet access so you can log and control what goes out. Another control is identity and access management. If an AI tool is integrated within your systems, ensure it goes through proper authentication. So for example, use a single sign-on for any approved AI services so you can manage accounts and revoke access very easily. For AI coding assistants like GitHub Copilot, you could enforce that only company-managed accounts are being used. Not, no personal GitHub accounts, so at least usage is tied to the enterprise credentials. And importantly, restrict these tools' access. Apply the principle of least privilege. If an AI integration or plugin needs access to certain data, give it bare minimum rights. For instance, if you experiment with an AI chatbot for internal knowledge base, don't connect it to all your databases. Maybe give it a scrubbed dataset. Some orgs are even toying with watermarking or tagging sensitive data, so that if someone tries to feed it into an AI, automated systems can catch it. Use what you have at your disposal. You might be able to get clever with existing tools to cover this new ground. The key here is to limit the damage shadow AI could do, limit how much data can be given, and limits to systems which AIs can touch, and limit who can use that. Number five, offer safe, approved AI alternatives. One reason shadow AI happens is because employees feel they need these tools to do their jobs better. And if IT doesn't provide any options, they'll seek them out on their own. So, guys, flip the script. Provide them with sanctioned AI tools that meet your security compliance requirements. Essentially, if you can't beat the interest in AI, join it, but safely. This could mean officially licensing a product like ChatGPT Enterprise or Microsoft Azure OpenAI service for your company. Where you have guarantees about data privacy, for example, OpenAI's enterprise offering promises not to use your data to train models and provides encryption and admin controls. Microsoft is also rolling out Bing Chat Enterprise, which is an AI chat tool with commercial data protection. If your organization already uses Microsoft 365, this could be enabled so that employees have a chat assistant that doesn't leak data and is explicitly sanctioned. Similarly, tools like Microsoft 365 Copilot, the AI integrated into Office apps, or GitHub Copilot for Business come with management controls for organizations. Yes, these services have a cost, but it might be justifiable investment to prevent larger losses. If budget is a concern, consider open source solutions. There are open source LLMs, which are large language models that your IT team can deploy in-house or in a private cloud. Projects like Hugging Face's Transformers or Meta's Llama models can be run with the right expertise. Then your data never leaves your environment because the AI is running locally. This might be viable if you have a strong tech team. Another approach, create an internal AI app store or approved list. Create a list of AI tools that have been reviewed by your security team and publish it on your intranet. For example, you might approve a certain AI meeting transcription service that has a good privacy policy or an AI design tool that you vetted. Steer users to those options. This way, employees don't feel like everything is forbidden. Instead, they have a menu of safe choices. When new tools come up and people want to use them, your governance committee from step one can do a quick risk assessment. If it passes the muster, add it to the approved list. If not, explain to staff why it's dangerous. By offering alternative solutions, you undercut the temptation for employees to go rogue. It's like offering officially supported devices versus everyone bringing random gadgets. Most people will use convenient approved thing if it meets their needs. Also, when you roll out an approved AI tool, make a splash about it. Communicate the benefits and the protections. For instance, we're enabling GitHub Copilot for all developers using company accounts. It will speed your coding, and we've configured it so that none of our code will be used to train public models. That message both excites the users and assures them and you that risk is being managed. In a short, enable the innovation safely rather than stifling it. Now, number 6, monitor and react. Stay alert continually. Even after taking steps above, Shadow AI isn't one and done problem. It's an ongoing challenge, so you need ongoing monitoring and response capabilities. Set up alerts for unusual activities that might indicate unsanctioned AI or use data exfiltration. So for example, if you suddenly see a spike in traffic to an AI service from your network at odd hours, investigate it. Or if a particular user is sending large amounts of data out, maybe they found a new AI tool. Behavioral monitoring can be very handy here. Many organizations already use behavioral analytics to catch anomalies. Extend that to AI usage patterns. Another tip, consider creating honey tokens or fake data that should never be used and see if any of it ever shows up in AI's output. This is an advanced move, but some researchers suggest planting unique, non-vital data and monitoring it. If AI regurgitates it, identifying a leak. More practically, keep an eye on forums or internal chat where employees discuss tools. Sometimes Shadow's AI comes to light because someone asks a coworker, "Hey, has anyone tried this AI for your project?" Encourage culture where that question leads to collaboration with AT rather than secret adoption. Also, make sure your incident response plans include AI-related scenarios. What will you do if you discover an employee accidentally leaking data to an AI? Who needs to be notified, whether it's legal, comms, affected clients? How will you contain it? Maybe request data deletion from the provider, and etc. What if an AI integration is compromised by malware? Tabletop those scenarios, just as you would any phishing attack or lost laptop. Proactive monitoring and rehearsed response can dramatically reduce the impact if something does slip through. Remember, even an approved AI can be misused, so monitor compliance with the policies. If the policy says don't put customer PII into AI X and you detect it happening, treat it like a security incident. Use it as a coaching opportunity, but also something that might need containment. The goal is to play Big Brother. It's to, it's to ensure that if shadow AI activities are happening, you find out quickly and you can respond before a small issue becomes a major breach. Now, number 7, foster a culture of responsible AI use. Lastly, but definitely not the least, address the human and cultural element. Technology and policies will only go so far if culture encourages workarounds. Create an environment where security and productivity are seen as complementary, not opposing forces. Leadership, especially CISOs, CIOs, business unit heads, should set a tone that responsible AI is part of how you do business. It's innovation with accountability. Recognize and reward teams that follow best practices for AI usage. Maybe a shout out to the department that proposed a new AI tool and went through a proper channels to get it approved, showing others it can be done. Conversely, if someone is caught doing something risky, focus on correction and education rather than immediate punishment, unless it was a malicious. People often hide shadow activities out of fear of reprimand. If they see that as a raising concern or admitting a mistake leads to support in fixing it rather than create damage, they'll be more open. Encourage employees to be part of the governance solution. For example, start with internal AI champions group, tech-savvy folks across different teams who can act as liaisons, promote safe AI practices, and bubbling up any AI trends they hear about. This not only helps you to catch shadow AI early, it also sends a message that the company is anti-AI. On the contrary, you're investing in it, just safely, making responsible AI use something people can take pride in. Some companies have begun including AI ethics and security as a talking point in town halls or newsletters, keeping it in a conversation. And of course, lead by example. If leadership uses an AI tool in a demo or a project, have them mention it, the precautions taken. So, for example, we've used approved data only AI assistant to do this, showing how we innovate securely. Over time, the goal is to have a workforce that views randomly using a new AI tool, like saying, plugging in an unknown USB drive, something they just wouldn't do because it's understood to be risky. Remember, guys, culture eats policy for breakfast. As the saying goes, if you cultivate a culture where employees understand the risks and are on board with a mission to harness AI responsibly, you've essentially defanged the shadow AI problem. People will think twice on their own and even help police each other in a positive way. Now, by following these steps, policy, education, visibility, controls, safe alternatives, monitoring, and culture, you can dramatically reduce the risks of shadow AI without needing a costly security overhaul. Many of these measures leverage what you have or inexpensive changes like writing a policy or running a training session. It's about being proactive and creative. Also, remember that this is an evolving space. Keep an eye on new solutions. 2. For instance, security vendors are developing AI monitoring features and standards bodies are working on AI governance frameworks. But you don't have to wait for project tools or regulations. The steps above are actionable now. So, we've covered a lot of ground by now, guys. And it should be clear that shadow AI is neither a fad nor something you can ignore. It's already in your organizations, driven by well-intentioned folks trying to do their jobs better. It offers amazing upsides, but it also introduces silent risks that can snowball if unchecked. The good news is that with awareness and right approach, those risks can be managed. It's about balance. It's about keeping the benefits of generative AI while safeguarding data, privacy, and security. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave with you a call to action. And this is for everyone in the organization because tackling shadow AI is a team sport. So, for security leaders, for CISOs and security managers, lead the charge to creating governance around AI. Your role is not to be a department of no, but the enabler of security AI innovation. Push for those policies, set up monitoring, and engage with the business side so you understand their needs. Advocate for resources if needed. Maybe you need a new CASB rule or your AI risk tool down the line. But meanwhile, use the tools you have. Educate your security team about AI tech so they can effectively integrate it into their threat models and incident response. Remember, the insight from Davos 2025, it's about aligning innovation with cybersecurity from the get-go. Be the champion who turns shadow AI from blind spot into a well-lit path. Now, for IT leaders and professionals, you are on the front lines of enabling productivity. Work closely with security to implement guardrails that make sense. Help identify which AI tools are truly useful for the company and find ways to safely provide them, maybe through enterprise licenses or containerized solutions. If you're in IT support or governance, be the friendly face of the AI approval process. Show people it can be quick and fair, not bureaucratic black hole. Leverage your knowledge of the IT environment to improve visibility. For example, you can tweak those logs and filters to spot AI usage and keep an open mind. Some shadow tools might actually be great innovations that you want to officially adopt. Think of your role as part detective, part facilitator. Your mission is to bring shadow AI out of the shadows, incorporate into your managed tech stack where appropriate, and block or mitigate the truly risky stuff. It's a challenging and balancing act, but it's also an opportunity to modernize your IT governance for the AI age. Managers and team leaders, set the tone, guys, for your teams. Make sure your team members know the company's stance on AI use. If you discover someone using an unapproved tool, don't immediately punish them. First, understand why. Maybe the tool solves a legitimate pain point. Work with IT security to either get it approved, if safe, or find an alternative. Encourage your team to suggest AI enhancements, but funnel those ideas through the proper channels. Essentially, act as a translator between your team's productivity goals and their organization security goals. By being proactive, you can prevent nasty surprises and be mindful of the data your team handles. Remind them confidentiality and how that extends to any external platforms, AI or otherwise. A little vigilance and leadership from you can prevent a careless mistake down the line. And then the end users. Yes, you too have, guys, a critical role. You are the ones who ultimately decide whether to use an AI tool in the shadows or in the light. We're not asking you to stop innovating or to stop in the Stone Age. Quite the opposite. We want you to take advantage of AI, but do it safely. So be conscious of the data you are handling. Before you paste something into a chatbot or an online tool, ask yourself, would my boss or our client be okay with this information living on an external server? If not, don't do it. If you're not sure, pause and ask. Use an AI tools the company has approved. They're there to help you. If those don't meet your needs, talk to IT about it. You might be surprised how often they'll work with you to find a secure solution. Embrace the training opportunities to upskill on AI. Becoming savvy about AI will make you better at your job and better at protecting the company. If you accidentally do something risky or see a coworker doing so, speak up. Mistakes happen, but it's far better to quickly report it. Oops, I think I pasted something sensitive into a tool, so that the team can attempt remediation rather than hide it and hope for the best. Your vigilance and honesty can literally save the company from a breach or a fine. At the end of the day, you are the first line of defense against shadow AI risks. And now, in closing, shadow AI doesn't have to remain a hidden risk. We have the power to bring it out into the open and manage it. It's like any other technology that revolutionized the workforce. Remember how email, cloud storage, and personal smartphones all started as headaches for security until we figured them out. Uh, the same will happen with AI. By being proactive and collaborative, we can turn shadow AI from a lurking danger into a well-managed asset. This is a journey that every organization is on right now. And to some degree, and the organizations that succeed will be on those who embrace AI carefully and intentionally, allowing their people to ride the AI wave, but with a safety net. I encourage you guys, whether you are a security leader, an IT admin, or an avid AI using employee, to take the insights from this discussion to the heart. Be the advocate for responsible AI in your sphere. If you've been watching this and thinking, this could be happening in my org, then take action. Start the conversation. Implement one of the steps tomorrow. Share a fascinating stat from this talk with your team, like that 57% stat or the Samsung story. It'll get their attention. Shadow AI is a challenge of today and the future, but together we can shine a light on it. Let's turn this hidden risk into an opportunity to innovate safely, protect what matters, and unleash the true power of AI within the guardrails of trust. Shadow AI doesn't stand a chance when we all work together to govern it. So, turn on the lights and let's move forward. Smarter and safer with AI by your side. Thank you for joining me in this deep dive. Guys, stay safe, stay smart, and here's to harnessing AI without the headaches.